Hello and thanks for joining us in TV and Business Daily. I am Chiwendu Osisiego, and today we shall be discussing on COVID-19 pandemic, making money amidst lockdown. One of the exigencies of quotidian human life is source of income to sustain basic needs, especially food, clothing and shelter, and this has been on for ages. Hence, the debt need for most people to sustain inflow at all times, including this period of lockdown. Our program today is going to focus on various ways people could make money from home without defying the lockdown protocol. Our guest is in the studio. He is an ex-bank director and wealth creation consultant. But before we meet our guest today, let's look at the business update for today. The Central Bank of Nigeria set December 31st, 2024 exit date for its intervention loans to the small and medium enterprises and households aimed at cushioning the effects of coronavirus on businesses and the people. It also gave December 31st, 2030 as the exit date for the COVID-19 intervention fund for the pharmaceutical sector in its guidelines for the funds. Recently, the banking regulator disclosed a combined 150 billion naira intervention fund to ease the impact of the pandemic on some sectors. As part of the measures to cushion the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the economy, the CBN introduced a 100 billion naira credit support intervention for the healthcare industry. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and its partners handed over 6 ambulances and medical consumables to southwest states on Thursday. NNPC said the donation was presented by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva, on behalf of the corporation and the Independent Petroleum Producers Group, comprising of 26 indigenous oil companies. The corporation said in a statement issued in Abuja that the donation was part of the 21 billion naira intervention initiative on the COVID-19 pandemic by the Nigerian oil and gas industry. The items donated to Lagos, Ogun, Ekiti, Osun, Oyo, and Ondo states were received by the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Olorunmibe Mamoroba, who is a member of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, and Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Activities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Thursday closed southward, extending previous negative sentiment to 3 consecutive trading sections following sell-off recorded by some stock. However, the market's price closed positive, recording 17 gainers against 15 losers. Consequently, the all-share index dipped by 5.74 basic points or 1.36% to close at 22,470.79 index points as against 22,780.30 recorded the previous day, while market capitalization of equities depreciated by 162 billion naira from 11.872 trillion naira the previous day to 11.710 trillion naira as market sentiment remained on the negative territory. Meanwhile, a turnover of 201.47 million shares exchanged in 3,381 deals was recorded in the day's trading. The value of securities lending and borrowing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange amounted to a total of 4.14 billion units, valued at 34.76 billion naira as of April 17, 2020. According to a report released by the NSE on Thursday, the figure is in contrast to 61.44 million units valued at 344.56 million naira recorded during the comparable period of 2019. Securities lending allows investors to borrow shares at an agreed fee, with the borrowers agreeing to return the securities to the lender at the end of the loan term. It usually requires the borrower to collateral the transaction with cash or other securities of the value equal to or greater than of the lent securities. And that's the business update on television. I'm Chiwendu Osisiego. Now we shall be going on a quick break, and after the break, Immaculate Udo will be giving us more details on business review. Stay with us.
Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business, I mean your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-6959 or 070-3234-9054. You can also visit us at Television Nigerian in Guzapi, Abuja, and follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern.
Thank you, Chiwendu Osisiago. Good morning. This is Business Review. The Nigerian economy has been grossly tied to the petroleum sector, given that oil accounts for over 80% of our exports. We are greatly disturbed by the current drop in prices. So today on Business Review, we're looking beyond oil and exploring agriculture as a possible divert from oil. We all know that agriculture in time past was the mainstay of the Nigerian economy, but that changed with the event of the oil boom in 1973, considering its easy money and the mega bucks on which the country subsequently overly depended. The times are bad now, and looking at the current price drop in Brent crude, which has put Nigeria in jeopardy, being that we projected an initial $57 per barrel as against the current $26 per barrel, which it is being sold at. So the wisdom in going back to agriculture is clear to all. Apart from a natural endowment in the sector, food remains like the first need of man, and no country can regard itself as like the giant of a certain constituency without being able to feed its citizenry, right? Well, hence the clamor for the return to agriculture, and that has been ongoing for some time now. And so the diversification of the Nigerian economy with specific emphasis on agriculture is feasible in view of Nigeria's endowment. We all know that Nigeria has like a large expanse of fertile agricultural arable land, right? And so how about we take a look at the feasibility of the agricultural sector as opposed to oil? Okay, let's look at it for farmers. It is very important that farmers are able to access loans at single-digit interest rates, preferably 5%. Like reports on extensive and revolutionary changes that farmers in places like Brazil, Israel, and the United States that has been introduced for them by their government has got a lot to do with the growth of the agricultural sector in such countries. And there's still like a lot more that the government can do to fully harness these potentials, taking lead from the countries we've just mentioned. Well, in agriculture, for the needed diversification and rapid growth of the economy, our farmers have to rapidly move away from manual to mechanized farming. I'm going to say this will have a lot to do with our workforce, but the fact that we are still grappling with high food prices under this, or at this point, underscores that. Although we have abundant labor, the more our farmers embrace modern practices and innovations in agriculture, the better our chances of optimizing our potentials in this sector. The strict enforcement of the import prohibition law with regards to some food like rice, other items can be better sustained if we take advantage of our local capacity to grow them and adequately fill the present gap in their supplies. So it's not enough to say we're not importing rice, but are we producing enough rice? So to achieve the dream of self-sufficiency in food production and to boost export, government must pay attention to the latest threat to food production and wholesome development of the agricultural sector. The government should look at the herdsmen and the farmer clashes in the last few years. Many traditional farming communities have been sacked from their ancestral homes and occupation, and this has greatly impeded their capacity to grow food, and it has also contributed to the effort, and their effort to contribute to the feeding of the nation. So the government needs to find a lasting and a permanent solution to the herdsmen menace, and then treat it with all possible alacrity, and as this poses a big threat to our food production goals.
So significant reforms across the labor market, the business environment, and the fiscal management and the skilled workforce is critical to improving Nigerians' productivity and efficiency, considering the agricultural and service sectors are projected to be the key drivers of the Nigerian economy. Measures have to be implemented to improve the value added of labor, and then in this sector, a comprehensive approach is needed. Sound and quality education provides a solid foundation in this regard. Yes, I had to talk about sound education, because going back to agriculture, we should do more of practicals in a secondary school, because it begins in the classroom. A lot of people say farmers don't need education. We're talking about mechanized farming, so maybe we should even look at educating these farmers, right? The government will look into this. But over now, Chiwendo Sisi, go for more on TV and Business Daily. My name is Odo Imakilita.
Thank you, Immaculate Udo, for that business review. Now, moving straight to our topic, COVID-19 pandemic, making money amidst the lockdown. And our guest is here in the studio. He's an ex-bank director, a wealth creation coach. He is Mr. Francis Okumaba.
Yet, and people must feed. And as a wealth mentor and coach, I always see the opportunities that are out there. You know, even during war, people make money during the war. So there is no situation you find yourself that you don't make money. In this particular situation, all you need to do is reorientate your mind and begin to see the reality and look at your environment. It is the environment, what the environment dictates, that determines what you actually have to present to the environment. So in the environment today, monies can be made. Money continues to flow in the streets of Nigeria. And everything you need to succeed in Nigeria is in Nigeria. You can make money sitting at home today. Because what we have in the Nigerian environment today, you can actually do your businesses online. You can learn a lot online. You can also interface with a lot of companies and all that using the online system. So even though oil is coming down, or the price of oil has come to zero, we have a situation where data has taken the place of oil. So if you turn your environment to know that this environment now, oil is not going to be subsisting anymore, and monies are not going to be coming, the implication is far-reaching. Because with oil price coming down, government, who is a major spender, is going to have less money to spend. A lot of jobs will be lost in the upcoming dispensation. Business will not be as usual, because there are a lot of things that people are going to be doing, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of people will not be able to do the type of business they were doing before. As I speak to you now, there were people who have savings. The savings currently is being used to sustain themselves in this lockdown. By the time they think they will not have capital to start the little businesses they were doing before. But there is hope. Because in any environment, there is opportunity. So what we need to do is reorientate the minds of our people to look at, how do I do business even sitting at home? And there's a lot. We have what we call neighborhood marketing. Today, you can sell something in your neighborhood without doing too much. For instance, if you are a barber and you used to go to a shop to do your barbing, you can actually decide to go to 5 estates and tell them, look, I will come to your estate to do the barbing of the children and everybody in this estate at a designated time. If you go to those 5 estates, you will do more barbing than you will do if you have a shop. For those who don't know what to do, just look at your environment. There are people who have goods to sell. There are people who have services to offer. All you need to do today in the lockdown is to take the picture of goods that you know that people are selling and put it in the social media and put your phone number and put your negotiated price. You will sell more than somebody that has a shop. Because the internet has a big market. You have over millions of people in the internet, and anybody can access you going to the internet. And you know today, everybody looks at their phone when they wake up, and they spend more time on their phone today. So you can actually be in the middle and be selling things for people who have things to sell, and use people who have talents. There are people who have talents who are sitting on the street today. All you need to do is have like 5 of them, take their numbers, and announce on the social media that you provide those services. Put your phone number there. People will start calling you. And as they call you, direct them to the people that have those services and tell them whatever you make from this service, I will actually get a percentage of it. And you start making money. So whether we have a lockdown or not, the economy will still run. And even after this lockdown, the environment will have changed. Many people will not need some services that we used to pay for because you can get them easily from the internet.
Okay, you talked about barbers,
yes.
Going to barber here, but people are really scared because of this COVID-19 pandemic. I have a friend that, has not barbed his head now for like 3 weeks because of, the coronavirus and all that. So how do you, want them to, relate with these barbers?
There is coronavirus. When you go to the market, don't you eat food from the market? Do you know who is selling the food, whether it has virus or not? The truth about it is that what the barber needs to do is to assure the customer that is going to barb that, look, I have the sanitizers, I have things that will protect you and protect me. I have my face mask, and I also have sanitizer. So sanitize yourself, sanitize the barbing kits that you're going to use, and show to them that that has been done. Once they see that, they will have the confidence to do it. Let me also tell you that in the new dispensation, anybody that is doing business that does not take care of his health issues and the environment will not attract customers, because customers want to be able to see the environment that is conducive and they are safe. If you are doing business that you don't put sanitizers at your doorsteps, you might not get customers come to you because everybody is conscious of it now.
Okay, so what are the main challenges that people are going to face? Because we're talking about savings initially,
yes.
And a lot of people have saved money that they wanted to use. They didn't know that the coronavirus would come up like that, and they've spent most of their savings on to sustain themselves in this period. So what do you have to tell those people that that have spent their savings on taking care of themselves?
I've just talked about you don't stay at home and do nothing in this new dispensation. Look for something to do that will be giving you money. In the internet today, there are various businesses that you can do. Over 50 businesses you can start doing today without money in your pocket. Do you know today, if you know how to cook very well, get somebody to video you doing the cooking. For instance, if you know how to cook banga soup very well, take the picture, the video of that banga soup preparation, put it on the social media, on YouTube. You will start making money from it. All you need to do is get an IT person to operationalize it so you can start earning money from those who want to learn how to cook that soup.